then after that we can
Sure,
get
no
started.
problem.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
problem.
So have you ever been to VIT?
Yeah, I've been multiple times. Mostly,
Oh,
I mean, this year itself, I've been at least twice
okay.
for the RSCC, RSI, and as well
Acha.
as one more event was there.
yeah.
I've been there
Madam, you can
twice.
start now.
Okay. Okay, sure then. So we'll
Great.
get started.
Sure.
Yeah. So very good afternoon to one and all. It's my pleasure to start the afternoon session for today. And we will be starting this session with Mr. Ershad Abu Bakr, who is representing Royal Society of Chemistry. And he'll be talking on Royal Society of Chemistry supporting chemical sciences in India. So it's an honor to welcome Mr. Ershad, and I hand over the session to you. Yeah, no
Okay.
issues.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just share my screen. Yeah. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, perfect.
Great. I think it's a pleasure. It's an honor for us to be, I mean, for Royal Society of Chemistry to be associated with, no, VCAN International Virtual Conferences or Conference on Advancing Nanomaterials and Applications. So we have been a regular feature. Our Royal Society of Chemistry has been a regular feature in many of our, I mean, VITs events, especially in the chemistry department. And it's first time we are, happy to, glad to, interact and be associated with the CNR department. So I think I'll just give you a brief introduction about what Royal Society of Chemistry is, what our activities are, and what we do across chemical sciences community to support the young scientists in India. So, yeah. So, Royal Society of Chemistry, we are the world's leading chemistry community with over 54,000 members across 125 countries, and we are UK's largest organization for chemical sciences. We have a long history, more than 178 years, started in 1841, with a vision of to be the leading voice and trusted partner for science and humanity. So obviously, RSC as a publisher is kind of well known within chemical sciences. Uh, we have many other aspects that we do, which include we are also an education facilitator. We are also a science policy and campaign organization, especially in the UK, and we are also a global membership organization. And we also have a library and information center. Just excuse me for a moment. I'll just make some adjustment to the settings. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you guys can see my screen now, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we are we have also have a library and information center, especially based out uh, in the UK, as well as we are also. I think there is some problem with one second.
Please make it screen sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it better now?
Yeah. Fine.
Is it better now?
Yeah. Fine.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So we also organize a lot of conferences and events across the globe, and we also are one of the leading membership community organizers. I think a lot of RSC members are there in India as well, and then some of you are attending the session as well. So that's a gist of what we do across the globe, and we also have an office presence across the globe. We have our head office based out in Cambridge, and we have a huge office in London as well, with office presence in the US, Brazil, China, Japan, and I am based out in our Bangalore office in India. So this is our Bangalore office. We have an office presence since 2010 in Bangalore with over 800 members, with which around 220 are fellows, which really shows the strength of chemical science community in India. And we have 5 local sections which are about the membership, which are based out across the country. And we also RSC India as a country also contribute immensely with respect to the publishing potential to RSC journals. So we are the second largest submitting country to RSC journals, and when it comes to published papers, we have the 4th highest number of papers published from India across uh, when compared to all other countries in 2018 and 19 as well. So this is again a portfolio of what we do as a publisher. We publish high quality journals, as well as we publish popular science books and subject matter books, as well as we publish a lot of magazines which are of general interest. And we also have this Merck Index, which is part of RSC's database portfolio. And we have ChemSpider and Learn Chemistry and various other portfolio of resources that are available for the community to use. So coming back to the Indian board member representation to RSC journals, so we have a great amount of, we have great pleasure in letting you know that we have around 27 associate editors on our journals from India, including also 4 editorial board members with 61 associate advisory board members from India, as well as 3,000 referees, which would obviously include many of you listening to me right now. So that really shows the value that RSC is finding in India, as well as the strength of chemical science community in India as well. And coming to the submissions and the number of papers published, obviously China is the biggest contributor in terms of submissions as well as number of papers published to RSC journals. But India is the second largest, publishing close to 10% of papers that are submitted to RSC journals are coming from India. As well, when it comes to the number of papers published, India is jointly at third position with along with United Kingdom at 6%. So coming specifically to this particular conferences and the journals relevant to this conference, we have a lot of materials journals as well as nano journals, which I would be talking about in detail a bit later. So we have decided to support this conference in terms of one of our gold open access journal, Nanoscale Advances. So Nanoscale Advances is chaired by Professor Chunli Bai from the Chinese Academy of Sciences and Derek Guldi from Germany. So it's a joint board with respect to along with Nanoscale. So we have a great pleasure in introducing our journal board members, including Umesh Wagmare from JNCSR. I think some of these board members are speaking at this or have already spoke at this conference as well. So coming to other journals in the Nano family, we have Nanoscale Horizons, which is having one of the highest impact factor nano journals, which publishes exceptionally high quality, innovative research in nanosciences. And Nanoscale is one of our most popular titles, which is the most established as well, which publishes high quality content in nanoscience and nanotechnology research. And this is our newest journal that was launched in 2019, Nanoscale Advances, which is again a gold open access journal, free to read, free to publish. There is no APC charges at the moment, which produces quality and reproducible content in nanoscience and nanotechnology research. So coming to JMCs, which is again popular in the chemistry community, we have JMC-A, which deals with materials and its application in energy and sustainability, which has got an impact factor above 10. And we have JMC-B, which publishes materials with biology and medicinal applications, and JMC-C, which publishes materials with application in optics, magnetic and electronic devices. So again, a couple of more journals in the materials portfolio. We have Materials Horizons, which again in the League of Horizons, which publishes highest exceptional high quality and innovative content and material science research, and we have this latest edition in the materials portfolio, which is Materials Advances, which is a gold open access journal, which is again free to read, free to publish. There is no APC charges. So I would encourage people working in materials to submit your research into any of these journals. So again, Materials Advances is having a shared board with the other JMC journals. We have 3 co-chief editor-in-chiefs, Anders Joren and Natalie, leading the Materials Advances journal as well. So we also have one of the recently launched gold open access journal, again, publishing high quality content, exceptionally significant findings in chemical biology. So which is head by Hiroaka Suga from Japan. So anyone working in chemical biology, please feel free to submit your high quality content into RSC Chemical Biology. This is a gold open access journal, but there is no payment associated with that as well. So along with our journals, we also bring around a lot of high quality events to India. We started with 2015, we started with Faraday's discussions, and we had a couple of more Faraday discussion along the line last couple of years, and we have a couple of more coming up in the next couple of years as well. So we had our road shows, we had a lot of events in VIT as well. So last year we had in 2019 February, we had an RSC VIT symposium in early February, and again this year we had in February at least two events that were supported by RSC in VIT, which included the CRSI symposium, and we also had the RSC CRSI symposium happening in VIT early this year. So again, we also had a lot of meet the editor programs where we bring in our editors on our journals to the Indian community. They talk to the community, understand the feedback about RSC journals. So we had a lot of events in 2019, and this year we had actually planned a lot more events this year as well, 2020. So, but we had to kind of move that all those events into an online platform. So we have a lot of meet the editor on online programs coming up. So we had the first among them, which had Professor Rahul Banerjee from Chemical Science and Professor Shantanu and Katie Lim from OBC joining in for the second one. So we have a third one coming up, which is on ChemCom, so which is happening on 14th of July. So we have Professor Sandeep Verma, Secretary of SCRB, Professor from IIT Kanpur and Associate Editor for ChemCom. He is giving a scientific talk on 14th, and we also have Dr. Richard Kelly, the Executive Editor of ChemCom, giving a publishing talk. So please, again, I would encourage everyone to register for this event and make the best use of this opportunity. So moving again a little away from publishing, hardcore publishing. So recently, probably many of you might have heard about an article that came up in Angewandte Chemie, which was later deleted, which created a lot of controversies across the globe with respect to gender diversity and inclusion and diversity. So much before that, RSC came up with this Breaking the Barriers report, which studied the female representation in academia, in sciences across the globe. So when we look at female students in undergraduate and PhD studies, there are a significant number of students taking up sciences in the undergraduate level. Around 44% of the students at undergraduate level are female, and when it comes to PhD students, around 39% of them. But when it comes to academic position, especially the professor level, very limited number of only 9% of academicians at professor level are female. So, and there is also a lot of biases with respect to publishing as well. So for example, see women, we conducted another study which specifically looked at the biases that exist, especially gender-based biases that exist in chemical science publishing. So we could understand there are a lot of institutionalized bias, which are probably, these biases exist at each step of the publishing profile, but many of these biases may appear minor in isolation, but their combined effect put women at significant disadvantage. Especially, say for example, women are less likely to hold positions at the corresponding level. There are less women are less likely than men to submit journals with high impact factors, and women are underrepresented as reviewers, and lot of things that we could unearth with this study. So as a publisher, we try to do our own efforts in that to eradicate that. One of the things is that we came up with a couple of initiatives, especially for females as well as male authors who are having a responsibility of child care. Say, for example, if you have the responsibility of taking care of your children, and you also have to attend a chemistry training or attend a conference, so you have to make some alternative arrangements to look after your children. So RSC provides up to £1,000 per year to cover the cost of taking care of your children while you attend a chemistry related event. This is again open for males as well as females, as well as people across UK as well as outside UK as well. And also we have special assistance grants for people who have got some disabilities or health conditions or impairments, which would require them to make again alternative arrangements for if they have to attend any chemistry related event or chemistry training or a conference within the country or outside. So we again have a funding for up to £1,000 a year, which is again available for RSC members to apply and avail. And we also have a lot of other funding opportunities, especially for member community. We also have scientific meeting grants, which are available, which can be up to £2,000 to host an event. Also travel grants for PhD students and early career researchers, which is up to 800 pounds, which is again available for PhD students in chemical scientists. And we also have a limited amount of research funding as well, which can go up to 4,000 pounds to assist members of RSC at a university or college to conduct their own research by these grants. And we also have another, which is a popular feature, which is research mobility grants, which is available for PhD students, especially if you want to do a specific part of your PhD research in the UK or Republic of Ireland. You can apply for this research mobility grants, which can go up to 7,500 pounds. So all those details about these meeting grants and fundings are available at this particular link. And I think there are more than these four funding opportunities available in this particular website. And again, coming up to, there are a lot of resources which are available for, especially for higher education, especially for people who are doing the research, where people want to writing their research, want to publish their research work in high quality journals. There are a lot of resources available for them to access and understand on how you can publish your research, how is reviewed and peer reviewed, and how can you increase your impact of your research, how can you get your paper read by, cited by many more authors. So all this information are available in the Learn Chemistry resource. If you go to this particular resource, you can particular link, you could access all these resources freely. And coming back again, so we also have, apart from our Meet Theatre online programs, we also have a lot of international webinars conducted all throughout the year. We have this Juliet Curie program, which is named in honor of Irene Juliet Curie, the daughter of Marie and Pierre Curie, and who herself was a Nobel Prize winner along with her husband. So we have a lot of generic topics covered with this Juliet Curie program. So we have one upcoming. The first one is like presenting your research. How can you present as a young researcher? You will be invited to present your research work at many conferences. So you have this particular webinar coming up at 7th of July. So this is a free to attend webinar, so you can attend and gain insights from a panel of guests to understand and how can you better present your research. And we have the second one coming on 28th of October this year, which is about got your first permanent academic position and what next. So especially there are a lot of people who are looking at an academic positions for within institutes and in India as well as outside. So this would provide them a lot of information about what happens after you get an academic position, what should be your priorities as a researcher while you join an institute. So a lot of information about around that aspect could be understood with this webinar. And we have one coming up in December, which is about bullying support program. If you have any issues within your community, within your institute, or within your workplace, you have a lot of avenues for venting out your issues. So that will give you a lot of information about harassment and bullying policies within institutes. And we also had this Juliet Curie webinars in last year and 2018 as well. A lot of these on essential skill for academic researchers and a lot of other generic topics. So all these last year's and 2018 and 19 information is available on YouTube for you to watch freely at any point of time. So if you just search for Juliet Curie program on YouTube, you'll be able to avail all these access all these resources. And again, coming back to resources, again, you have this beautiful portal called Learn Chemistry. So if you go to RSC website, www.rsc.org, and just type Learn Chemistry within that, that will lead you to this Learn Chemistry platform, which has lots and lots of resources on chemistry, on how can you learn chemistry in a more enjoyable manner. So all these resources are available for free for people to use. And also we have a lot of resources available in the career perspective. There's a dedicated website called as a Future in Chemistry, which will have a lot of information for students, for teachers and career advisors, as well as for parents on what are the career aspects when you learn chemistry, what are the kind of jobs that you can do, what are your employability skills. A lot of information about careers and future in chemistry is available in this particular link. And we also complement that with a chemistry job portal, which is again under our Chemistry World magazine. So if you go to this website, you have a lot of job opportunities available internationally as well as within India on a lot of aspect related to chemistry available. So you can browse through them and understand the job opportunities in and around India as well as internationally around chemistry and chemical sciences. So again, last year we did, last year, I think many of you might have been aware that last 2019 was International Year of Periodic Table. So we did a lot of events in and around, across India. So we had popular science lectures and we had student programs, as well as we had an exhibition for public, which was held in MG Road in Bangalore. So we had a great turnaround, especially for the general public came in big numbers. We had hands-on experiments, we have art installations, we had installed a periodic table app, which is a trademark feature of RSC. All these are free to use. So we had a great footfall at this event, which helped us to create an awareness about periodic table and science and chemistry within the general public. Coming back to a couple of other initiatives that we do, we have a big project which is funded by Dr. Yusuf Hamid, who is the chairman of Cipla Pharmaceuticals. So he has given Dr. Yusuf Hamid has given a large-scale donation to the Royal Society of Chemistry to do a large-scale teacher training program in India. So it's a 2-day workshop for high school level science teachers. It's a free workshop. So we had conducted this workshop in around almost all of the states in India, including Tamilnadu and across the country. We trained around 24,000 teachers in around 1,000 workshops held across these many states. We have a pool of dedicated trainers traveling across to these states to deliver these workshops. And again, we have a dedicated student program, which is called as the Salters Chemistry Camp, which is a 2-day residential program for 9th standard children, which would provide, which was even held in VIT Vellore as well as almost all of the institutes in India. So this is a 3-day residential camp for 9th standard children uh, to get to know how was it to study chemistry in the university level. So those were a couple of information that I wanted to provide. So I will be happy to take any sort of questions that you have about RSC or publication process or any funding initiatives and such things like that. Thank you for patient listening.
Thank you, Mr. Irshad. It was indeed an informative talk. Thank you so much. So there are a few questions which I would like to pose to you.
Sure.
Question number one, just a minute here. Is this grant and funding applicable to Indian students as well?
Yes, almost all the grants that I talked about are applicable for Indian students. Just that some of them may require you to be a member of RSC. Becoming a member of RSC is pretty easy. If you just type in RSC membership in the Google, you'll be able to apply for that. It would require a small payment. I think around 1,000 rupees is the payment per year. So, but other than that, most of those uh, grants that I talked about are available for anyone across, not just within the UK, but
Yes, yes.
people from Indian students can apply as well.
Yeah. And one question, though, it's they're asking what's the job opportunity available at RSC if they are interested to work for RSC?
Yeah, so Royal Society of Chemistry in India, we have a small office person. We have we have a team of around 10 to 12 people, which are mostly based out in Bangalore. So getting a job within RSC in India may be kind of, we will obviously advertise most of our job opportunities in our RSC website. So you could apply for that, but I would suggest that you could look at RSC globally. See, there are a lot of opportunities coming up in the UK. So especially publishing could be a career for many of you who do not want to stick on to academia after your research. So there are a lot of opportunities available for students from India as well as outside in publishing in RSC, especially in the UK, as well as a limited number of opportunities in India. I would suggest you to constantly look out for these job advertisement coming in RSC website. So RSC website is www.rsc.org. So if you could look out that and check out for job opportunities, you will be able to understand more details of that.
Thank you. So there's one question from Dr. Shifali. Is there any fund for teaching faculties who are working on ad hoc basis?
There are funding for a limited number of fundings available for teaching programs for doing outreach related initiatives and stuff like that, especially for, since you said you are an ad hoc teacher, I think there are opportunities for people like that to apply for that. I have not given the details here, I think, but if you look at that funding uh, website that I mentioned, you'll be able to look understand that. And also, I would suggest you to get in touch with whichever part of India you are. I would suggest you to get in touch with the RSC local sections, which is a we have local sections in which one in based in Chennai, one based out in Hyderabad, one in Kolkata, one in Delhi, and one in Mumbai. So whichever city is closest to you, I would suggest you to get in touch with your local sections. So they will be having a different set of funding for doing these sort of outreach programs. So I would encourage you to get in touch with our local sections for that. You would again get the details of the local sections in RSC website again.
And one more, if in case if a journal has article processing charges,
Mhm.
and I think personally I know RSC has this waiver options for
Mhm.
certain countries. So
Sure.
would an Indian author be eligible for that?
Sure. So we have a lot of many. I think we have around six. I mean five. Sorry, six gold open access journals currently, out of which only one, RSC Advances, is the only one that has got a payment associated with that, which is around 750 pounds in general. But India has got a discounted price, which is around 500 pounds. So even after that discounted price of 500, I think many of the authors in India are still published in RSC Advances with by availing the waiver facility which is available. So whoever is getting a paper accepted in sorry in RSC Advances. So if you could write, there you will be getting a message after the acceptance, which will have the details about the waiver policy as well. So if you could write an email to the editor detailing about your funding scenario and the lack of funding available within your budget, within your project for funding APCs. So in that case, our editors will be able to consider that positively. I think around 70% of the authors that publish in RSC Advances
Yes,
from
yes,
India
yeah,
get a waiver.
yeah,
So currently,
including.
RSC Advances is the only journal which has got which has got a payment associated with that. But at the same time, there are many of the authors get a waiver for that as well.
So I agree to that because I
Yeah,
was one of the author. I mean,
sure,
one of my paper got accepted, and RSU was kind enough to waive the
sure,
entire
yeah,
fee.
yeah.
So I think for
And
want of time,
yeah, sure,
we are closing the session.
sure.
So once again, I thank you, Mr. Arshad, for such an informative talk and having accepted our invitation to deliver a talk. So on behalf of
Sure.
CNR VAT, I thank you once again, Mr. Arshad, for joining the event.
Thank you so much. And it
Thank you.
was again a pleasure for Royal Society of Chemistry to be part of this conference. And I wish all the participants good luck. And I would encourage you to write to me if you have any further concerns at this email I've just given. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arshad.